Note the disclaimer, and remember that my Patreon supporters got to see preview images, work-in-progress shots, and high-resolution images of the completed figure. If you want to join them, the link is right below. Hello out there, this is Wake Angel 2001 coming at you with the next part of Pawniard11's commission. It is Metal Amy. Metal Amy is a character from the Archie comic book series, so you know what that means. It's time to get into Metal Amy's backstory. Okay, so this is the last story arc before the Super Genesis wave hits, and that's where Dr. Eggman had successfully managed to roboticize and weaponize Princess Sally, and that gave him the idea to make a Team Metal. Basically, he started to make copies of all the notable freedom fighters, including Knuckles, Tails, and of course Metal Sonic already existed, but he also made a Metal Amy. She made her appearance in issue 240, where she was destroyed by Big the Cat, who was secretly aided by Silver the Hedgehog when he was a member of the Secret Freedom Fighters. And that's the story of Metal Amy. Well, she was only in one issue, so it's not exactly a big story arc that she went through. Anyway, let's actually make the toy of her now. The base figure is, of course, an Amy Rose. This one was sent to me with a slightly damaged arm that I was able to repair. And, of course, I dismantled her. Funny thing is, another assembly quirk with this Amy figure, her left and right legs got swapped around. Not her left and right shoes, only the legs. So that means that in order to fix this Amy, I had to pop out the hip joints and where the shoes were connected and swap the shoes around to the other legs, because that's, like, I don't know how they make that mistake in the assembly plant. I really don't. But then again, it's going to be a moot point, as you'll see later on. So as for sculpting, there actually wasn't that much on this figure per se. Well, actually there's quite a bit, but not related to the figure itself. As far as the face went, all I really had to do was sculpt on a sharper brow ridge and a couple of iconic cheek bolts, because all the medals have cheek bolts. And I also used my X-Acto knife to cut into Amy's forehead bangs a little bit to make them look a little sharper and go closer to the base of her forehead as I did in the concept art. I don't know why I bothered. It's like a really minimal thing. The arms had a little bit more sculpting, mostly on the back of the hands to make them look more robotic. I also modified her peace sign hand to be a fist, because I'm pretty sure Metal Amy is not the type of character to be throwing up the peace sign. And it's kind of cute how her armor on her forearms is designed to look like the Pico Pico hammer. I mean, she could also spawn a metal version of the Pico Pico hammer, but I like that Dr. Eggman actually put that element into her actual design even when she's not using the weapon. As for the body, I didn't want to mess around too much with things to like make things not fit anymore, so I just kind of painted her metal collar on and made the trim of the dress silver instead of white. And then that's all the parts, so you can put Metal Amy back together and she looks like this. Why doesn't she have any legs? Well, that's because Metal Amy doesn't have legs. Yes, that's right, my friend. Metal Amy didn't have legs. At least she never actually deployed any. I'm sure had she had later appearances, she probably would have had like a walking around the base mode where she would like sprout legs out of her body or something. But in her sole appearance in the comics, her only mode of mobility was the fact that her dress was a rocket and she used it to fly. Even in concept art that was released during Comic-Con, they only show Metal Amy flying with this rocket and never growing legs. So yeah, that means instead of modifying her legs to look robotic, I got to make a blast effect part. And this is actually where most of the sculpting went in. Now, to make it look like an afterburn from a fire, it was actually something that required layers. Basically, I made multiple layers of 6 pointed stars and nestled them within each other. And then at the middle, there's like a point. And then everything is curled up on itself, kind of like an artichoke. And that creates something that looks more or less like fire. At least, like, you know, that's as far as I can do. Like, have you ever tried to sculpt fire? It's literally making hot air. Like, literally. I'm not even kidding. That is actually what it is. Now, I could have made a stand, but I had this one from a Mega Bloks minifigure left over, so I just stuck that into the blast effect part before it hardened and called it good. So let's take a look at the completed Metal Amy. And here she is! Doesn't she look kind of cool? Yeah, like she just has a whole bunch of fire coming out of her skirt. And she retains all the articulation in the arms and the neck, which is basically all she has because she ain't got no legs. Yeah, that's Metal Amy with her nice little blast effect, and you know, I went through all the effort to make a blast effect for fire. Don't ask me to make a blast effect for smoke. Besides, she probably like burns a smokeless rocket fuel or something like that. But yeah, she actually looks really cool with that little hover stand. I'm actually kind of taken aback by how awesome that looks. And of course, since I still have Amy Woman for my roboticized master set, so one robotic Amy doppelganger to the other. I imagine that they would be jealous of each other's attributes given their unique situations. Wouldn't you agree? Alright, so this has been Metal Amy. I hope you guys liked the video and my little joke at the end about the thing. So we'll see you next time, and hopefully not too long from now I'll have yet another figure to be completed.